a long answer to your question. What books would you recommend?
Now, I'll give one last one here that came out in 1986 that I really like, and it's by Michael Parenti, who is well known on the left for a long time. And the book is called Inventing Reality, and it's about the media. One must recognize that the way the populace is controlled is through the media, is through the propaganda. It's a direct offshoot of techniques that Joseph Goebbels originated through radio, and these techniques have been carried on into television. And Parenti tells about how we are literally controlled in our whole aspect of what reality is by what we're fed through the media. Our world, as we see it, is what we see on the television.
What they tell us, what they want us to see.
What they tell us, what they want us to see, what they want us to know, what they don't want us to know. And obviously, this is vital, and this is their major means of controlling us, rather than having tanks in the streets and soldiers on every street corner, as happened in Spain under Franco. I was there. That's one way of controlling people, but they prefer to do it and find it cost-effective to do it through the media. And
well, see, if a fellow that one who was at the co-op and said we have KKUP, which proves the system is great, when we have Rockefeller Center and the four of us can sit around and talk, then we'll know the media isn't controlled.
For an example, this is where everybody can see this happen right today. Some government agency just put out a report that we're going to run out of oil. Now, where do we? I can't believe this. This was on your TV news last night.
Right.
Then this morning there were discussion programs, the talk shows were talking again about running out of oil.
Yeah, preparing for the next run.
Now this is not news. This is a media campaign to convince us that we have to raise the price of oil.
It's an old but modern version of the big lie.
They've been doing it ever since 1918. There have been 6 or 7 campaigns of the oil companies and the associated monopoly state capitalists have run a propaganda campaign against us.
Okay, and Hitler had a good statement about that, or one we should take to heart. If it's repeated enough, we believe it. Those same forces, of course, have been
and they repeat it, and people believe it.
You can experience this thing, and we're just trying to point out to you today to look for that sort of thing. This running out of oil campaign started all up again, and it's happening right now. And I hope the listeners will make note of that and watch for it.
Okay, the real news, though, is there are people like Mark Goldie's of Aesop Institute have been investigating and finding some real answers, some breakthroughs in new energy technology that can virtually make oil unnecessary in pretty short order. It seems. It certainly bears further investigation, and we need the collaboration of moving with what we have.
Well, you're absolutely right, John, but what's very interesting about that is this is nothing new. Now, in respect to making oil, of course, I.G. Farben found the process for making oil back at the end of World War I.
Right, Steve Shagan's The Formula is an interesting book.
Steve Shagan's book, The Formula, which, although a novel, is essentially about this fact. And
pretty accurate.
What's very interesting and is told in The Crime and Punishment of I.G. Farben and The Control of Oil and various other books is that I.G. Farben, having this process, scared old John D. Rockefeller I. They scared him to death because he thought, good God, all my oil in the ground is not worth a hoot. Right. So he immediately went to Germany. I.G. Farben didn't come to Rockefeller. He went to Germany, he says, with a hat in hand, I guess, and says, oh, come on, guys, don't ruin my scam. So he made a deal with I.G. Farben. I.G. Farben, the deal was that I.G. Farben could make oil in Germany, but they would let Rockefeller have all the rest of the country, which wasn't owned by the other big oil company, Royal Dutch Shell.
That was a key deal indeed, because they got a piece of each other's action.
But the cut was that he had to give him half interest in his Standard Oil Company, and very few people know about that.
Yeah, right up to the chase.
And that were pretty tough terms for old John D. He never was the same since. Yeah. Even giving out dimes.
Getting on to mother's milk again, but
that brings to mind another question a caller mentioned. Could you recommend some novels which